Jason was so dangerous, it took 5 armed men to keep him under control. They were ordered to transport him 30 kilometers underground to an extraordinary supermax prison. Once locked inside, nobody had ever escaped, and only a place like this was worthy of holding someone as deadly as Jason. But the hunters escorting him didn't take his threat seriously. Tyler, who was sitting right on top of Jason, went so far as to mock him, bragging that once the job was done, he'd keep Jason's trademark goggles as a trophy. The insult pushed Jason past his limit. He wasn't about to let some arrogant fool disrespect him. With a sudden move, Jason bucked hard, throwing Tyler out of the vehicle. Tyler hit the tunnel floor and died instantly. The other hunters weren't shaken. In fact, they laughed. One less man meant a bigger cut of the bounty. Soon after, the escort reached their destination, the entrance to the underground prison. As the heavy gate opened, Warden Steve appeared with his guards to receive the prisoner. After confirming Jason's identity, Steve wasted no time. He immediately threw Jason into the deepest level, a special VIP cell reserved for the most dangerous inmates. But when it came time to settle the bounty, things went sideways. The promised $2 million reward was suddenly slashed to $700,000, with Steve claiming high operating costs. The hunter's leader was furious, calling it daylight robbery. He nearly drew his gun on Steve. Realizing these men weren't to be messed with, Steve quickly backpedaled and offered a deal: stay in the prison as guests, and he'd request approval from his superiors. Within 3 days, the leader wasn't buying it. To show who was in charge, he gave Steve only 1 day. Inside the prison, Jason was surrounded by the worst criminals alive, and like in every prison, there were rules. New blood always had to be tested. The veteran inmates started whispering and plotting their way to break him in. Jason knew exactly how things worked, but he didn't care. What he was about to do would leave everyone stunned. With precise moves, Jason twisted his wrists, slipped free of his restraints, and flipped cleanly to the ground. Bold as ever, he struck fast. 3 punches, 2 kicks, and several attackers were down. One fool tried to ambush him, but before he could even strike, Jason strangled him to death with his chains. Then came the surprise. Someone else jumped in to help him. A woman. Jason thought she looked familiar. He reached for his goggles to get a better look, but before he could, she turned and walked away.